Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Out of Memory. I'm Christopher Hampson, your host, and I'm joined by AJ Hamilton.
Hi, everybody. How's it
and
going?
Girl. Oh, sorry, didn't know you were finished.
Oh,
Sorry, if I can keep going.
Hi, everybody. How's it going? I hope your day is going well. That's what I wanted to say.
Okay,
and
thanks for keeping it brief. And girl on couch.
Nothing,
Okay, rude.
Nothing from her. See, I could have taken her time, but whatever. That's fine.
I got some stale eye contact, and that was about it. Yeah, you.
Hey, lady.
As always, we're here making a tough decision, and that is what to actually keep in our brains and what not to, since we're getting old and we're running out of all this space.
There's no more space.
There's pretty much no space. What do you think is the limit to like where your brain is actually full and you start dumping shit out, like age 10?
Yeah, probably thinking. Oh, I don't need to know fractions anymore. Wait, no, I haven't even learned fractions at 10, right? I don't know. I don't remember any math whatsoever. So that all went out long ago. What the hell are we talking about this week, man?
God, I don't know if we're ever talking about anything, to be honest. But let's start off by playing a game.
Okay, sure.
How about a game of Would You Rather?
All right, go ahead.
Okay. Would you rather be surrounded by hundreds of beloved, if not worn copies of cinema, or go to a brand new Sizzler?
Huh. Well, I do like their popcorn shrimp, but I'd kind of like to like the cinema. I do like the cinema. Hey, I got one for you.
Okay.
Okay. You either have a mall-based toy store that might be the last bastion of sanity when your parents are taking you to shop for back-to-school clothes, or another Wetzel's Pretzels.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Wetzel's Pretzels is like the Cinnabon of the mall.
Yes,
it's never good, and also like
you regret it.
I'm astounded that they're still able to advertise for the like pretzel-covered hot dogs that. It's a sign that they sit outside of their little booth, and it just looks like three big dicks with like hot cheese running off of them.
Oh God, it is a little too sexual for them all. That's a family place, everybody. Please stop.
Well, oh right, there's a third topic. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, if you want.
Third bullet points. All right. How about would you rather get exercise, or would you rather go to an empty lot and get tetanus? What?
Listen, no. I like tetanus. It's a
what is
great.
Tetanus?
It's called tetanus.
Oh,
sir.
Really? That's how you spell it?
That's how you spell it.
Or would you rather get tetanus?
Tetanus.
I'll take the tetanus.
I'll take tetanus for 800. Oh, we both went there.
If you haven't picked up on it already, which is very, very possible from that awful lead-in,
hey.
I almost feel like we should do it again. Let's see if we can come up with an organic one real quick.
Yeah, sure.
Let's see.
Fine, I put all that work into it. No, go ahead. I'm kidding.
Have you ever loved something, but then it was dead?
Well, yeah, I had a goldfish once named Goldie.
Did you ever have a dog?
I did have a dog. Her name was Mandy.
Really?
She was a lab Dalmatian mix. Lovely dog.
Wow, really? That's a really crazy ass mix.
Yeah, all black except her stomach, which was spotted white and black. It was cool.
Oh.
Yeah, she was a good dog. Good dog.
You fucking learn something every day, but not on this podcast. So the topic of our podcast is shit that is not here anymore.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
stores closed. I don't know how do we title this one.
It's former hangout spots. I don't know. What
gone,
is this?
But not forgotten.
Gone but not forgotten. Gone but very influential to our lives, which is kind of leading into whether or not we're going to keep it in our memory. No, I don't know. Are we actually talking about this, or are we going to cut this part out?
No, I think we'll just leave it in.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Fuck it. Tet Anus.
Tet Anus.
That's going to be my work cry from now on. When I enter the meeting room at work, Tet Anus.
Tet Anus. It's so we went through our memories, and we thought about all of the institutions, I suppose, that we grew up with that are just not around anymore.
Yeah, there's quite a few of them. We're obviously not going to do all of them. We're going to do some.
And a Toys R Us in a pear tree. Actually, that's what sort of inspired this episode, is that probably by the time this comes out, everyone will know that Toys R Us stores, all 800 of them across the country, are going to be closing.
Yeah,
soon. We don't know when.
How sad is that?
It's so depressing. Like what one of our good friends, Adam, he texted me the other day. He said, "I can't imagine raising my kids in a world that I can't take them to a Toys R Us in."
So we're not gonna, even though Toys R Us I think is near and dear to our hearts.
Of course,
I don't think we're gonna specifically focus on that one just because it's not dead yet.
No, that's just the inspiration kind of for this.
Sure.
Thing.
You know, the shittiest part of when like a good store goes out of business. I mean, obviously it wasn't that good if it's going out of business. But the shittiest thing is like when they have like these like mega closeout sales, like up to 50% off, there's usually nothing in there that's marked down to 50%. Like you maybe save the tax on something that's, you don't really even want that much.
Well, and the worst thing is I've been to a couple of those things, and I go and I say, oh man, I definitely could have bought this here a couple of months ago and probably not saved your business, but
no,
it's
ego on this motherfucker.
Hey, I have a lot of cash to throw around on toys and worthless niche items. No, I don't. I actually don't. No,
you liar.
I feel
I've seen your room.
No, I'm very poor. But wow. No, the fact is, you go there and you have to feel a little bit guilty about not maybe, I went into a Toys R Us when I heard this news, and I went in and I was like, oh man, they do have some stuff that I'd, like to buy, but not that me alone is going to save them. But I think that a lot of people don't think about it until it's gone.
Totally.
Sadly,
And is it that maybe some of these stores that we'll get into, and Toys R Us is included, is that they were geared towards maybe a certain generation, and that generation grew up and that thing kind of became obsolete, or at least the platform that it was being sold on, or maybe just it was hard to get to.
I think that's absolutely right. I mean, you have to evolve with the times, but there are, brick and mortar is sadly going away. That's sort of a big theme of this entire decade and really century so far. There's not as much want to be in the physical world. I just saw Ready Player One.
That's a real bleak way to put it.
Fair enough.
I think that's probably, you could probably say that's true for some people. I honestly, I think that a lot of these stores just kind of failed to evolve, like as technology advanced and like shopping became more convenient. Because sure, Toys R Us, like I have great memories of it, but like I don't want to go in there. Like I'd rather do my toy shopping from the train, because I know that I'm going to get the best price on my phone through Amazon or wherever. Honestly, wherever. I'll just type it into Google, just like that will tell me what the best price is.
Who's got the lowest price? Yeah, that's the thing is physical stores can't offer that. I went into, like I said, Toys R Us, and it was kind of a mess. It was sadly.
Well, I bet it was now. Like shit on fire. Some wolves eating Jeffrey Giraffe.
Master Blaster just knocking over things. Yeah. It's. It's not that bad, but I was looking at the layout of it, and it is a massive. It's almost the Home Depot of toy stores. Yeah. It's just aisle after aisle after aisle, and you're just like, oh God, I need a jungle guide through this thing to actually tell me where the thing I need is. But I do remember as a kid loving to wander through those places.
Yeah. That shit fatigues me now. Like just going into a mall makes me feel tired after a few minutes, and it's just overstimulation, I don't know. My fucking eyes are worn out, and my brain just doesn't want to do that shit anymore.
Well, and sadly, also, I don't think the toys are necessarily geared towards, well, not geared towards us, but I think we had an impression of what toys and products and different things like that were when we were growing up. And I go in there and I'm like, about 10% of the stuff appeals to me anymore. The rest of it is from TV shows that I don't know, or the style of toy is not really appealing to me. But obviously I'm not the kid. But
Word.
and
Dude,
sadly, word, the kids are getting less and less tactile options. They're getting the screens. They're set behind screens from 6 months old in their living room. They're just tapping Angry Birds.
It's the ultimate like platform of play, though. I mean,
Yeah, of course.
It can play anything. There's shit that's constantly coming out for it. You can take it anywhere.
Yeah.
There's very little need for like a physical like toy like what we had to have, because we didn't have phones. We had phones that would have warped my little child mind.
Oh, God.
If I went to high school with a phone that had a camera and I could take pictures of like bullshit. I could go on the internet. I can't even fucking imagine, man. I'd be dead. I would. Somebody would have killed me. I would have been the worst person ever.
You would have never made it through.
No,
not at all. Well, you probably would have been hit by a car while you were playing on your phone crossing the street.
Yeah.
I mean, and you had 2 streets to cross to get to school. So that's saying something.
Still a rigorous journey over there.
But that actually leads us into an actual closed place from our childhood. The legendary KB Toys.
Is it legendary?
I don't know. No, I was just trying to look for an adjective that...
I guess now that it's dead, you could... Sure. Let's make it the legend.
The legend. Yes. The legend of K and the B.
Well, we're going to have to talk about it in legend voices. Long ago, tens and 1/10 of years ago, there was a much smaller Toys R Us called KB Toys. And most of them were in malls. And
yeah, exactly.
They were kind of like a crazy fucking place. It was a really condensed toy store, as I remember it.
It was to the ceiling also.
Yeah, and like literally, because it was a low ceiling, but there was like that shit like flying around like the airplane with the electric propeller that's just like going in a fucking circle.
Yep.
Bubble bobble or whatever the fuck that is, like, it's like rattling around at your feet. Like, it was insane.
It was because a lot of stuff that you don't see necessarily in other toy stores was on display. You couldn't necessarily play with everything, but there were things in bins and stuff that you could grab. I knew there was always going to be a play ball just rolling around the aisles of that.
Yeah, rolling itself around. Yeah.
It was haunted
too.
Like
it was like a bazaar style of selling things, where it's just like here's all my shit. You can touch it and smell it and have a sample taste of this action figure. But they had I want to say I feel like they did a good job, if I'm remembering this correctly, of their procurements and like what they put out, because they only had maybe 3 aisles to go down, but it was pretty good shit. They didn't have a lot of like the bullshit. There was no Power Wheels Jeeps taking up a whole fucking car dealership.
Right. They knew what they were. They couldn't hold the big things, so they sort of had it was a smaller. It wasn't like the CVS selection, of toys in that tiny 5-foot area of toys in the back,
the bullshit
hidden
Walgreens section.
Right, exactly. But they had it focused. You're right. And I remember
it being very colorful too. Like,
oh
I
my
don't know,
God.
like the colors were like just popping everywhere. Like, it was much more, I don't know, a magical experience than actually going into Toys R Us, which was very warehouse, as you described.
And very white. I saw it, I walked into it and there's just white ceilings, white floors, white poles in the middle of the floor.
The
It didn't
stripper
make
floor.
stripper floor, exactly. With I think they actually had what was it, carpet in KB?
Yeah.
Do you remember that? It was like I don't know what I don't think I ever looked down to examine it, but I think it was multicolored carpet.
They had
the
to
ground.
for all the people that would slip on fucking rollerball that would roll itself around and they would crack their fucking head on the shelves that were way too close together. They roll up the carpet with the body in it, take out the back, and sell it for horse meat. You can probably pass human meat off as horse meat.
Oh, I thought you were feeding the meat to the horses. I was like, what kind of horses are these? Oh God, carnivorous horses.
They're centaurs.
I remember also there were KB exclusives.
Oh,
there were, I
don't remember that.
Yeah, there were just as there are like Target and Walmart and what's the third one? And Toys R Us, sadly, exclusives.
Not anymore.
Exclusives that you can get of figure series and stuff like that. I do remember them having KB Toys exclusives, like maybe an all silver Wolverine or something like that they wouldn't have at any other stores. And yeah, that was a big draw, and I was surprised that they as a small company. Well, I actually don't know that. That's something that we can look up. Is how big the company was.
We'll do our due diligence.
Ah, yes, the research portion, my favorite part.
Long over due diligence. What was your the best thing that you purchased there? Was it that silver Wolverine?
It might it might have been, and it was one of those tall 12-inch Wolverines. I think I might have gotten.
I never saw that.
Yeah. I got that
where is it?
back at my dad's place.
Oh, I'll go over to your dad's house tonight and play with that.
You should steal it.
Actually, your room is pretty much a KB Toys.
Yeah, I would say so.
Bright colors and shelves all together, and I cracked my head that one time. I got rolled up in a carpet.
Yeah, sorry about that, man. Yeah, thank you for not suing. I appreciate that. No, do you remember what you purchased there? God, it's been freaking forever.
Yeah, dude, I absolutely do. Very vividly.
Nice.
I purchased a couple of Ronin Warrior figures there.
Oh, yeah.
And, do you remember that?
Yes.
Ronin Warriors was an anime about... it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, no, I remember.
It's exactly what it sounds like. Ronin Warriors.
We'll do an episode on it.
But yeah, they were fucking cool, like little samurais that...
Yeah.
They wore like base armor, but you could clip on all the different like armor pieces to make them look like the full samurai suit. And they, instead of having like actual like socket joints to like move around, they had springs.
Oh,
so like you could kind of make them like bap the fucking bad guys and stuff. It never was like that awesome. All that would happen was like they would flail their weapon out of their hands. It was very sad, but they were really cool, and I was like super excited to find them because they were discounted. It might have been toward the end of KB being around.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, everything you could actually find really good. Even when they were still around, they had deals. Like something would get too old or something like that, and if you went in there at the right time at the end of the run of the series or something like that, you could get it for like $3.
Yeah,
it was insane. The deals.
They need to get that fucking out of there.
Yeah, I remember finding when I was a kid and collecting the Beast Wars and the Transformers and stuff like that, I would go on multiple store searches, and KB would sometimes have these rare little ones that people just passed over, and it was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
I remember like earlier on, they had a dedicated Playmates section. So like it was all Barbies, and then right next to it was a big fucking section of turtle toys.
Yeah.
And they this is like right when Turtles came out. I remember getting like the transforming hovercraft, which never transformed very well, but still like man. Fucking turtle toys, man.
I'm pretty sure my dad got me the turtle van there.
Yeah. The turtle van that it opens up and flings the turtle that's in the door like out.
He falls.
It's a suicide door. Yeah, he does. It just flings him off. Just breaks that shit right off.
The planning was just horrible. Horrible times. Yeah, no, so many good memories of that place.
Yep, but dead. All right, next
Dead,
place.
gone. Yeah. This is a big one, close to our hearts, obviously, and close to your heart a little bit more. The Blockbuster Video and Hollywood Video
Yeah, probably
stores.
closer to my wallet.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because I did work at Hollywood Video,
That's right.
specifically the Game Crazy that was in there, which is pretty much a GameStop, which is also closed, and yeah, there's no reason to sell videos like that. However, it was really fucking cool to walk through a video store, and I like all the way back to my early childhood. I had memories of even crazy video stores, even before Blockbuster in Hollywood was a thing, where you would walk around and like there's one box to represent like all the movies they had, and they would have little tokens on a hook that you would like take the number token off and bring it up to the dude.
Oh,
and he had all the fucking treasure behind him, and he would go and find that movie that you want and bring it back to you.
Right.
And they did the same thing for Nintendo games too.
Oh God, yes. When you could still rent cartridges, for God's sake.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember there was also a we're talking about Blockbuster in Hollywood, but there was a little place called Play It Again Video in the town that we grew up in, and that closed long ago, probably 20
that might have
years
even
ago.
been before I even moved to this town.
My God, yeah, possibly, but yeah, no, Blockbuster and Hollywood was it. Yes, I did have experience as a child, going up and down the cartoon aisles and stuff, but really when we became teenagers, we would go there and we would pick out all of the movies that we were gonna watch one night, where we were gonna stay up all night and just go crazy on on
like candies
candy and soda.
Shitty food.
Fucking nerds.
Well, let's talk about the difference between Blockbuster and Hollywood Video.
Sure.
Both were nationwide, but they had very different feels to them. Yes. I would say.
Yeah.
I'll talk about Hollywood Video just because I worked there.
Yeah.
I remember when they first opened, they made all of the employees like dress in like formal, like old school, like movie chauffeurs.
Oh Jesus!
Or I don't even ushers. Sorry, movie ushers.
Okay, yeah, that's better.
Yeah, like very proper and shit like that.
Yeah.
But they had the walls painted up with some like iconic movie shit. Like it would be like the T-Rex coming over the Hollywood Hills.
Oh yeah,
or, I don't know, like Bugs Bunny or some shit like that. Again, that was a very colorful place, and I think that I think it contrasts to Blockbuster, how they set their things up.
Well, Blockbuster was kind of sterile, I would say.
Yeah, right.
It was very much, this is what we have. This is what we're doing. We're going to get you in and out. Don't even worry about it.
Get your thing and get the fuck out.
There's no distractions. We've even got popcorn up here at the front. Don't even worry about it. But Hollywood Video came into existence later, and I think it was definitely more the young upstart. It was the hipster. It was trying to be cool. It was kind of
it was cool.
It really was. Cool. No, I absolutely agree. It was something different, and that's what people wanted at the time. They wanted something that was more about the film, more about the cinema, rather than just being we are a box and we sell you smaller boxes and get the fuck out.
Yeah, no, and I think that's absolutely right. And a little bit biased, but I had interviewed with Hollywood Video before I had actually gone to the game side.
Okay.
And like they really wanted people that like knew about movies and could actually like talk and relate to people.
Well,
like suggest things.
Yeah, Tarantino grew up, I think, working at a Blockbuster, if not a Blockbuster, a video store, and a bunch of, I think, Kevin Smith as well. And just that is such a cinephile's dream, I'm sure, to work in a place where you can take home I think even more than working at a movie theater, because a movie theater, yes, you get to see the movies that are currently coming out, but at movie video stores, you have access to so much cinema, past and present, that you can draw from at any time that you want,
without having to clean up after like the worst that people act in a place. Because there's no other place where you are such a messy, awful, inconsiderate human being than like a movie theater.
I thought that the other
your
day.
Fucking trash and popcorn everywhere. Like it it's kind of that
I
it
can't.
feels like an unspoken like rule or agreement that just like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna fuck this place up real bad.
This is
while
the
I'm here.
only
I'm gonna leave
place.
some really disgusting things around.
This is the only place I can cut loose and be me. No, honestly, even
Oh,
shitty,
they're gonna know who was here.
even nice people leave their trash behind. They're just like, somebody's got that.
Yeah,
Ugh,
they even
gross.
like as soon as the fucking credits start, like that team comes in like wheeling that mini dumpster in, and they're wearing their hazmat suits, and they're ready to pick up all the hair and toenails.
And used condoms.
Yeah, and just de-jizz the place.
Oh, and I think about how hard that would be, like going up and down, like all of the popcorn that I know that I drop into my seat alone. I'm like, how do you keep this place nice? You can't. It's impossible.
No, that it is a place to get fucked up.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the neat thing about going to a movie. I think there's a big difference between going onto Netflix and going to a video store, because you can't spend all night in a video store. You can spend a significant amount of time. I remember spending 45 minutes to an hour in a
You
thing.
know when you've been in that movie store too long, you're just like, I've been around a couple times, and I know I'm just like being a fucking weirdo.
There's
but I don't
nothing
have any place
else.
to be. So
Yeah, my legs are hurting, but that's all right. There's some cool movies in this corner.
I'm gonna get that awful popcorn when I get to the front.
Oh yes, and some Twizzlers. No,
I'm gonna
not
find
Twizzlers.
that secret video that's all checked out. And that okay, let's back up, because that's the biggest thing about the fucking movie store is that you would go there with money intending to give to a company to see something,
Right.
and it was very possible that they just didn't have it for you.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, that's a hot item. It's out. Keep your money.
Do you remember the insane walls of new DVDs that would come out? I mean, they would have 100 copies of it, and it would be gone by the beginning of the day.
Yeah,
Like you would,
just ravenous people. People would wait outside in line.
yeah. Well, the other day I went over to Best Buy, and I got in line. I had to get in line to enter the store at 10 a.m.
I'm so sorry that happened to you.
No, but to get that, like, there were at least 50 people ready to get The Last Jedi on Blu-ray, and I was like, wow, people still do this someplace.
First of all, white privilege.
Oh yeah,
you have enough time on a Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever fucking movies come out to be at a Best Buy at 10 o'clock.
I do my auditions and work at odd hours.
Fine.
Thank you very much. God damn it. But yes, no, you're right. I'm awful. Thanks, everybody. No, but yeah. How would you? What if you wanted to see that one movie, that one old movie, and that was checked out? That was somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly.
But
we've done that before. We went on quests to find like an old. We tried to find a copy of Mallrats.
That's right.
All of the blockbusters. We went to like 10 blockbusters to try to find one
all
copy.
Across the Bay Area.
Nobody had it because it's not a new movie, so everyone only keeps one copy,
right?
And one jackass rents it and just keeps it forever because obviously it's a coveted item.
Yep. Yeah, and they love Jason Lee, I guess.
Mallrats really isn't even that good of a movie.
No, it's not.
Just putting that out there.
It's the lower in the yeah.
It's just barely above Chasing Amy.
Some would say. But yeah, that was always disappointing, but it always also forced you sometimes to make a choice that you wouldn't normally make. And
That's fucking true. And especially when you've been there too long. It's like, well, if I leave without having anything in my hands and I've been here for an hour and a half,
I've wasted my life.
Yeah.
And
I'm worthless.
Do you remember that was the funny thing about the rental fees. Like it would cost like $5 for a new rental for one night or something insane like that.
That's a great point. Is that if you don't return this on time, well, you're kind of fucked, because I'm pretty sure that you're a teenager who spent everything they had to have this movie for one day. It was like a one-day rental.
One day rental,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. The hot ones were one day, and you could get the older ones for
like a weekend or 5 days. Yeah, something like that. God, that was the pricing Yeah, I mean, I know that they couldn't figure that out. They really tried at the end. They
No, I
tried.
think they did figure it out.
Yeah.
I just think that it wasn't sustainable when
No.
something came along where, sure, we'll always have this movie in stock and you can watch it 100 fucking times and it's $6 for the entire month.
Right. Yeah.
That is going to bury you.
Yeah.
And I remember even talking to some higher up people when like Netflix was coming around.
Yeah.
At Hollywood Video, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we're working on something."
Well, and
if you're working on something when this thing is already killing you, you're fucked.
Did
you're working on a noose?
Yeah, right. Well, the Blockbuster actually had the thing where you could rent, you could order the online DVDs to be delivered to your house if they didn't have them in the thing. But that was
really?
Yeah, that was
sorry, yeah, you're talking about Netflix.
No, Blockbuster did that. Blockbuster tried to compete for like.
Oh, you're right.
They tried to.
And it was shitty.
It was very shitty, and there was.
Although you could return it to the video store itself, which was the only perk.
Yes, exactly.
Who the fuck knows where a mailbox is?
But I honestly think.
Do you know where any mailboxes are around you?
Funny enough, I just tried to go to the mailbox around the corner. They're all locked up. They're demolishing the post office. I swear to God.
No more mail, only female.
But I think, honestly, for nostalgia's sake, if nothing else, I bet you Netflix could create some sort of video store to rival the old stuff. Maybe not everywhere, and maybe in just a few different places. But I think that there is a demand, especially with the people who grew up with those video stores. I bet you could open something up, even if it's just like a viewing area or some place like an internet cafe type thing. I have no idea what it would be, but
I feel like they would do that maybe in like a virtual reality space.
Damn it, you're
like
right.
To browse the virtual store.
Yeah,
because I do hate Netflix's interface.
Yeah,
it's not the same experience. Like being able to like look at the cover art of something and like flip it over is not the same as like
more info.
Like hovering over something and then it plays a little preview. It's a different experience, and sometimes it works, but it's kind of annoying too because I don't want to see the preview when I just stop scrolling sometimes.
Right, and I know that it's I know that it's the way that we're going, but it creates an antisocial society. Because we used to be forced to, if a person looked over and they were like, "Hey, that's a good video. Have you ever seen it?" And you're like, "Oh no, I have to have a conversation with this guy." But it forced you to have a fucking conversation in real life.
Yeah,
and
that's fucking true.
And maybe you met somebody that you had similar interests with. That's kind of going away, and it's sad.
Yeah.
This is depressing me, Chris. Fuck, man. Let's move on to the. Do we have anything else to say about Blockbuster before the research portion?
Let's talk about the deals. Like,
I
think it was a very similar thing to KB Toys. Like, they stock up with all the hot items, and then like as soon as that's done, they need to sell that thing really fucking quick.
4 for $20.
Yeah, 4 DVDs for 20, and back then a DVD like brand new was what,
$20 or $30.
Yeah, $25.
Sure. Yeah,
so, you get that in their awful like replaced jewel case, if you could even call it that they stuff their fucking lock onto so you can't open it.
Of course, and also you may not even get the cover art.
Yeah, that's true too.
If you really want the DVD for that cheap, you might just get the Blockbuster cover.
Isn't that funny that like in this digital age, like you will buy a digital movie and you don't have that cover art, but like if you did have to buy the physical one, you absolutely would want the cover art and like the whole thing and like it to be beautiful when you open it up. You want that experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
Although it is a pain in the ass, I will say, having to get up and put like a disc in my PS4 when I don't own the digital copy of something and I have a physical disc, it sucks. And sometimes I'll stop playing a game just because of that, because I have 50 games on there, or I can watch it on Netflix. I'll just wait for Lord of the Rings to come around on Netflix. I'm not gonna go over to my little shelf and get the fucking discs out.
I've done the exact same thing. What else? Oh God, did we say we were gonna do 3?
Yeah. All right. So check it out. Here's how we do it.
Yep.
All right. And our third one that we're going to talk about, Discovery Zone. Enough said.
Discovery Zone, man.
It's not around. There was a ball pits, and that's pretty much it.
That is it. That's pretty much it. That's all we know about it. So
balls and tubes, and I mean, like fucking.
It was basically a Chuck E. Cheese for active kids.
Yeah,
fuck
that's
that.
it.
Yeah.
All
right.
Fuck it.
Good. I'm glad we touched.
It smelled like socks.
Yeah. Oh God.
Consistently.
Oh, I'm glad it's not around anymore. It would be mildewy, I think.
Yeah.
No.
Go into any McDonald's play place. You got that mini experience.
Same experience.
I'm not going in there. I'm not re-experiencing that shit. That's not research I'm doing.
Fair enough. Well, good. I'm glad we touched on these awesome pieces of history. We're gonna look into exactly what was the downfall. I know that we sort of touched on it, but the exact downfall and the laying to rest of our memories.
Yeah, and I think we can't re-experience KB Toys, but we can go into Toys R Us as we watch that
crumble,
rat-laden ship burn and go down.
Jesus Christ! No, the rats leave. They leave a sinking ship, Chris.
Nope. These are toy rats. They can't leave
toy rats. Ratatouille. We still have Ratatouille stuff.
Oh man, why did we invest so much in stuffed animals? They're awful.
Oh God. All right, we'll be right back.
Keep your pants on.
Out of memory.
All right, and we are back. Here we are, everybody.
Did you miss us?
I sure missed you, Chris. Not that we weren't in the same room hanging out and doing the same exact thing.
Of course not.
Of course not.
All right.
Hey,
so
yeah.
How did you approach this? How did we re-experience the magic of KB Toys and Blockbuster and Hollywood Video?
Well, man,
I don't think we can. You can't. It's extinct.
You can't, sadly. But what I did actually is I went to a small-ish chain of stores. They're called Puzzle Zoo, and it kind of had the same feeling. It was sort of more a comic book toy store, but there were no comic books. But it just had that same feeling. They lost all their comic books. They just they're like, where did they go? I don't know, man. No, they it has that same feeling. It's much smaller. It's not a big box chain or anything like that. It's probably maybe 1,000 square feet or something like that. Not too huge, but that was sort of fun. And also I went to a local place called Odyssey Video.
Oh damn! There's a video store.
Yeah, man, just one in like the entire valley that I could find. And
all right, what's their setup? How does it feel when you walk in there? What does it smell like?
It's very.
What's the guy's name that works there?
I didn't ask his name.
Did he have longer than respectable hair?
Of course he did. He had as long of hair as
Nicolas
Cage.
Outline his horseshoe baldness.
Well, he really wanted to look like Nicolas Cage in Con Air. It just wasn't working for him. He's not a killing machine.
Did you shoot him in the arm to see if he could feel
it? No, I think it would have cried too much. But it was very yellow inside.
Yeah.
Just smelled yellow, looked yellow. It's just it was way too much.
Yes.
Way too much. And, a single copy of everything.
Damn, really?
A lot of nerdy shit. It was, it was good. Yeah.
Is it supposed to be like hilariously like hipster? Like, oh, like it's such a flash to the past. How droll.
No, it was kind of just that they were struggling. It just seemed like sadness.
Well, then I think you went into the perfect location for this podcast episode.
Absolutely, man. This was and they sold snacks at the front. Of course they did. Like really shitty selection of snacks. The poppable popcorn and the family size bag of M&Ms and different stuff like that. So it was exactly what you needed. For a wonderful night.
The, like really old poppable popcorn, like the one that like comes with the fake frying pan and like the metal taste on you.
Oh
and you're
God.
guaranteed to burn half of it. Like you gotta chip away at the black hardened rock of the burnt outside to get to like the core that has like a few kernels that are still yellowish.
Oh God, Jiffy Pop. Why would you even make that, man? That's
Did they
just
really start making
such-
that?
No, they well, yeah, no, they had the stuff in the frying pan thing. But yeah, it's not a good idea, I don't think.
Classic taste, parentheses, metal flavor.
Classic, man. Just everything about it was lovely. They were those there was those white shelves, you know, those white wire shelves that you see
That
in
you
like
cut yourself on.
Yes, of course,
Yeah.
of course. Yeah, it's it's like something from a rejected IKEA installation. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was a blast from the past, man, and I don't think I'll go in there, but not again at least. But they did have
Wait till they're closing, and then you can buy all
Oh.
ones of their DVDs that they have.
But a fun addition. They had an extensive adult section.
That
Separate.
that is
separate-
how they have stayed in business.
Exactly. Oh, absolutely.
If Netflix
And-
had like a Pornhub
Mhm.
type co-op there, I think that they'd be probably doubling their profits right now.
Oh, exactly.
I
Exactly.
mean, I guess you don't pay for porn. Actually, I guess that video store is going to be out of business really quick.
I don't know how they're doing it. Just a lot of.
Well, did you go in the adult section?
I stuck my head into it.
Perfect.
There were a surprising amount of people there. It was a little awkward, but it was separated by beads.
Bees?
The beads.
Bees.
Beads.
Bees. Job's not on board.
Job's not on board, man. Damn, I'm so glad we got to use that bit. How about you? How did you get a chance to bust into any little shops or anything like that?
I didn't go busting into any shops, but I did go into the Toys R Us that is closing near my work.
Oh, yeah.
I just had to see, and honestly, it was really depressing to see like the once memory of my beloved toy store. That honestly, like I don't think that I could have been happier if my mom had taken me anyplace else, because I knew that like everything was there. Like even just like, and I did get that little nostalgic feeling of like going down the video game aisle in a Toys R Us, which was very different than any other place, where it used to be an aisle of just there was no like stacks of games or anything. It was just like plastic like laminated covers of the game and like description below, and then you would pull the little tag off and take it up to the front. I don't know, there was something kind of cool about that. I don't know why. It honestly, I don't think there's anything cool about that. But
well, and I remember there were always the little places where you could play a sample of of certain different games, couldn't you? There were like kiosks.
Yes,
Yeah,
there was.
yeah.
I remember playing Vector Man for the first time there.
Oh,
and
nice.
I think seeing my first N64 there. That was my first major
God.
purchase for sure. Was like at a Toys R Us, and I think I opted not to get a Nintendo 64 and instead get like a dying Super Nintendo with
yes,
with 10 games. Which honestly, I think that was a better choice, because the price of N64 games was fucking stupid.
it was like $60 at the time, wasn't it? Or
Yeah.
100 or some insane thing like
Yeah,
that.
it was something really high. I remember like reading like in like a Game Pro or something like that. There would always be that page ad for Funko Land, which was
Yes,
like,
yeah.
precursor to GameStop. And
Sure.
it was always like a published list of like the trade-in prices for things.
Yeah.
And yeah, there were some N64 games that were like $120. Like I don't fucking understand.
God, Jesus Christ! And well, that was the cool thing about video game systems. Even if you wanted to be like on the top of the new game, the old games were still relevant at the time. They hadn't like come leaps and bounds from those SNES games already. And yeah, maybe they had a little bit better graphics, but you could absolutely still enjoy those older ones.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
totally.
and get 100, like you say, 10 at a time for the price of one other game.
Yeah.
So yeah,
We'll say that was the good choice for me.
absolutely.
But yeah, it was definitely depressing going in there and seeing again, like a closing store sale is not exactly what you hope it will be. Like the thing that you might buy would never be marked down enough. Everything was everything you might buy was 10% off, and then like the rest of it is just like naked racks that they just I never understand like how like the racks in the store like need to fucking go like before the product is even off of them.
Wait, they were selling the racks?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they sell those racks as fast as they possibly can. I don't know who needs all these racks. I guess some other store that will inevitably just close.
I think
after,
that's
like,
the
failing
saddest.
hard.
I think that's the saddest thing I've heard. My
It
goodness.
is. Yeah. But
Damn.
let's move away from
Yeah.
the horrible shambling husk of Toys R Us.
Yes.
We'll talk about the other stores that we had previously talked about that we were supposed to research a little bit further here.
Absolutely. And research we did.
Yes.
I looked into the KB Toys, or as they were known, KB Toys. And I know that
Okay.
that doesn't sound like there's a difference, but
That makes you sound real snooty.
it does, doesn't it? No, it was either the letters KB Toys, and that's what you usually saw on the outside, but also for some reason it was referred to as KAY space BEE Toys. I have no clue why.
K beads?
God damn it. Which it doesn't make any sense because it was named after the Kaufman brothers. That's where the KB came from.
Okay.
Okay. And it was, yeah, see,
All
so,
right, I
I mean, KAYBEE doesn't matter. But they were actually the second oldest retailer, only behind FAO Schwartz, which is, I believe, defunct as well. There, you'll love this. There were three slogans that I could find. One was America's Toy Store. I remember hearing that from the commercials. Hot we got at KB.
Okay.
That doesn't make as much sense.
It would if they had an adult section.
That's true. They should go to Odyssey Video. And possibly, in my opinion,
Also, if they had beads.
Bees?
Beads, adult section beads.
And possibly the most uninspired one, the toy store in the mall.
That's accurate. I think if I heard that, I'd be like, oh yeah, that one.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
No, you're right. It absolutely describes what it is, but it's kind of just like, yeah, no, you got the monopoly on the toy store in the mall deal. But at its height, KB Toys had 1,300 stores across the United States, and
It sounds like all the malls.
Oh, I'm sure they hit most of them. There was probably a deal in the mall. If you're opening a mall, you have to open a KB.
Yeah, malls to the mall.
Absolutely. Toys R Us was the obvious competitor, but as it got later in the big box shops like Target and Walmart, they began expanding their own toy sections to almost the size of KB Toys, which was sad. And,
now it's like half the friggin' store.
Oh, I know, exactly. There's like 10 aisles dedicated to toys, which, I mean, where else are you going to get them? So it makes sense that they are cornering the market.
Well, and Walmart and Target are almost mall killers in a way where
oh yeah,
they're really pandering to the shopper and not the person that you're buying for. Where I believe that a lot of these stores like Toys R Us or KB Toys are trying to cater to the child with toys, but I mean, it's really the parent doing the shopping, and they don't want to go to like 50 stores. So one store would be great. And Target's even got like groceries and shit now. So
oh, I know. Yeah,
sure.
exactly. I mean,
why wouldn't you go there?
All in one stop. You don't even have to go to the mall and the grocery store. It's everything. I can't believe that. Well, no, I can believe that Best Buy is still around, but it feels like
that barely. I can't believe that.
The speciality of an electronics store is not even necessary anymore. Look at Circuit City. Look at Radio Shack. People apparently
Fry's
don't.
Still a thing?
Fry's, yes, yeah, Fry's and Best Buy.
Fry's is awful.
I know.
I
hate it.
I don't understand.
The prices are horrible.
Fry's is the only store that I don't understand how they're still in business and Radio Shack is not, because I've never walked into a Fry's and shopped around for a while and been more disappointed with like any kind of resemblance of customer service.
Well, I absolutely agree with that. But my local Fry's actually is one of the coolest stores I've ever seen in my life. And that is the only
what
reason
way?
that I go to it. I will tell you in what
You
way.
go there and fire a gun or something.
No, there is the front of the Fry's, the facade, is that an alien ship crashed into the front of it. There is a 3D model of a ship, full size, sticking out of the front of it. As you walk in, there are models of army people in jeeps, full-sized, and there are giant ants. There are like giant ants. The food area is are these 1950s chopped in half cars. That's where you sit in those. You can watch Mars Attack on the
Wait.
TV.
What?
There is the main area in the back is a full-sized Encounters of the Third Kind sized ship. It's just it's massive. I'll have to take you to it sometime, but it does not make sense.
Me. I want you to bring it to me.
I'm bringing it, man. And all of the displays for monitors are lifted up by tentacles from the ground, busting through. It's insane.
That sounds very LA, and I have to believe that is definitely the exception and not the rule.
I agree. I'm sure.
All right, well, let's keep going.
Moving on.
Moving right past Fry's, which did not deserve that much time.
They actually started, because of the competition, they actually started separating KB Toys into new toy stores and closeout or outlet stores where there would be almost only strictly things that were on sale, on deep cut sale.
Yes.
But some of the biggest numbers were in the mid to late 90s, where they were having 1.1 to 1.6 billion dollars in sales.
Wow.
So they were doing
really?
They
That's
were
like
fine.
$2 billion by today's standards.
Exactly. But the problem was they changed ownerships quite a number of times. I know that they started in 1922, but they changed in the last 20 or 30 years in 81, 96, 2000, and 2005, including a place called the Melville Corp, CVS, yes, the drugstore corporation, wow, and also Big Lots owned them at one point.
That's freaking weird.
It's very odd. I don't know why these jump from hand to hand, but I for the next one I am going to use a pun, so you're welcome. The bane of KB's existence was actually brought on by Bain, spelled B-A-I-N, capital, in 2000.
Stop the podcast. Stop the podcast. I'm done. I quit.
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, man. I knew I shouldn't go over there. No, but they were a self-described turnaround artist where they would help failing companies, which they weren't failing at the end of the 90s. So
no, not until they get there.
Pretty much, actually.
Yeah.
They expanded the debt just in favor of money for their investors, and also something else that distracted from their advancement was the shift from malls to sort of the outdoor lifestyle centers, full of like the Targets, the Best Buys, the Michaels, all in one line, so that killed them too. And so in the horrible 2003 Christmas season, that led to bankruptcy. No, they were
I feel like KB's is a chain that filed bankruptcy multiple times, though.
It did, actually. It filed it in 2004 and in 2007, which started the beginning of the end in 2009. And funny enough, Toys R Us bought the KB brand after they were all closed.
Damn.
Yeah. and sort of used it as a private label for a time.
Did they have Toys R Us Express at one point or something like that?
Yes, they did. Actually,
I'm pretty sure that's what happened to KB.
You're absolutely right. And funny enough, we jump back to Bain Capital after they sold off KB in 2005. Guess who they bought? Toys R Us.
Apple. Oh.
Close. Toys R Us, which in fact has led to the Toys R Us bankruptcy of this year.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Kaufman Brothers, you assholes.
Exactly, man. But here's wrapping up the KB section of this talk, there's a kind of a glimmer of hope. There's this company called Strategic Marks LLC, and it's a
Are
company.
they turnaround artists?
Yes, but
No,
these
they're
guys
not.
are actually doing it. These guys are doing it. They're a company focused on rebuilding once popular brands, and they have acquired KB Toys trademark. And their plan, as of this year, for the Black Friday of 2018, is to open up 1,000 pop-up stores. And if they're successful throughout the holiday season, they may keep multiple ones of these stores open, depending
Good.
on if they can get the land and the rights and everything like that. So
The land.
the land, you know, back in the day when you had to fight it off from the Indians.
Manifest Destiny.
That's
KB Toys.
right.
Good, because I haven't collected all the Ronin Warriors yet.
They'll be back, man.
Also, best thing
They'll
about the
be
Ronin
back.
Warriors was the English dub. The main bad guy, who was a giant samurai ghost, had an Irish accent.
Oh, of course he did. That makes it multicultural.
Does it? I don't know what that makes. I think it makes a poor decision. But
Why not?
all ghosts are Irish, I guess.
They go through a transformation during the
Yes.
afterlife. Yeah, and so that's the story of KB.
All right, good. Well, fuck you,
Ta-ta.
Toby. We also miss you and hope to
Yeah.
see you again.
It'd be kind of cool,
Yeah.
kind of fun.
All right.
What do you got to talk about? Do you? Yeah, go ahead.
No, nothing to talk about really.
All right. Well,
All right. Well,
see you next
let's,
time.
Let's talk about video stores.
Mhm.
Since you already touched on it, but more specifically, let's talk about Blockbuster.
Okay.
Everybody knew Blockbuster. It was kind of the standard and almost the best way to get movies at the time.
Well, yeah, it was sort of the top
Sure.
top seller, I would think.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So little history. So founded in 1985 as Cook Data Services, which was an oil and gas company.
Oh, sure.
You're gonna have to help me with this one.
Yeah.
So
No.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, it was by David Cook, and he apparently his oil and gas industry's project of providing services or blah 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 wasn't working out too well, and his wife was like, "Hey, we should get into the video store franchise," and he was like, "Yeah, all right, sure," and he bought Video Works, and then they wouldn't let him decorate with the yellow and blue.
yeah, who's the they wouldn't? Was that his wife?
No, the Video Works.
Oh, okay.
He bought
I thought his
Video
wife
Works.
like became like a competitor, like against it. I was like, wow, that's strong marriage.
But yeah, so then he was like, no, I want to paint it yellow and blue. So he started his own Blockbuster Entertainment.
And that is pretty iconic of the Blockbuster franchise.
Absolutely.
Only a couple years later, after they founded it, 1987, they started selling video game, they started renting video games.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they started selling them off until later, once they had kind of run their course and they weren't renting
Sure.
very well anymore.
Of course, yeah.
But the best thing that I found was that in the year 2000, Blockbuster had the chance to buy Netflix, which had been on their radar for a couple of years as being a competitor. And they passed up the chance to buy Netflix for $50 million just because they didn't believe in it. They didn't think that it was going to become anything bigger. And
Now,
keep in mind that Netflix was only doing the mail service, like DVDs direct to your house at that time. They hadn't started up their streaming service yet.
Right. And if I can't even believe that they had already started in 2000. I believe they actually, I was looking into it, they started in 97, but that surprised me a lot. I didn't think that they became really big until much, much later.
Netflix was definitely a thing by the turn of the century, and I don't think they started a streaming service, which was very scant. I think until probably like 2002 ish.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't research that part. Fucking sue me.
No, I think you're right. I think 2002. You're right.
Yeah, they passed up on that offer, and year after year, Netflix kept coming back as a competitor, and they just did not believe that it was something that was gonna beat them. And they tried to do a lot of things to start to combat Netflix as it began to grow, They started with like the Movie Pass, which was supposed to be no more late fees.
Oh, interesting.
They started a subscription service where you would pay like a monthly fee, and then you could go to Blockbuster and rent X amount of videos per month to kind of like be the same as Netflix. But
Yeah.
the core problem, and this is the same with Hollywood Video, which had considered doing a streaming service as well, was that their entire business was based on the profits of late fees. And even though they had this Movie Pass with no more late fees, it was more of kind of like a extended grace period because they were still buying a shitload of discs. And in order to recoup the cost of actually buying these movies from the movie producers, they had to rent it out so many times. So they were dependent on people returning these on time.
So they just sort of screwed themselves with the no late fees.
They had to do something because like you don't get late fees with Netflix. You just
of course.
pay what $8 a month or something like that when you first started out for one disc or two discs, and that was it. And you keep it for as long as you want, and then return it when you want another movie. Like they had that pretty much figured out. And Blockbuster and Hollywood Video, they just couldn't pivot their entire business to compete with that. So
I think they were moving. They were sort of lumbering. Yeah. They were the sadly the dinosaur in the equation, and Netflix was like the nimble little human. They didn't exist at the same time. I don't know. Man.
Is this a David and Goliath thing?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, sure. Why not? That's a much better analogy.
Sure. So Slingshot, and then 2004, Blockbuster kind of hits its peak as far as profits and stores opening. And then by 2013, they're dead. Good
Lord. Oh, my God. Well, and they also had one other thing that I didn't know about, and I just randomly found this. They in about 2010, when they were trying to maintain, because I think Hollywood Video closed in 2010. They had to close.
I would have been surprised if that's how late they closed,
but they Blockbuster was like closing hundreds of stores, and they planned to open those kiosks. They like Redbox.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And they were going to open. Last. They were going to open 10,000 of them. Are you kidding me? Like that's massive.
Yeah, that's the turnaround artist desperate fucking attempt at the end.
Exactly. And the guy who was in charge from 2007 to 2013, James Keyes, was quoted as saying they aren't even on the radar of competition, Netflix and Redbox. Fools.
That's pretty much what Coco did for you. Yeah, they even tried to buy Circuit City in 2008.
Right? Well, and in 2000, and in 2008 also they acquired something called Movie Link, a streaming service. But think about that; they were more than a decade late for what? Well, not a decade, I suppose.
Maybe not for the streaming,
but at least like 6 years maybe too late to compete with Netflix, for God's sake.
Yeah.
Oh man, they were trying to, like you said, pivot, and it won't work.
Could not do it. I mean, how much? What was the biggest late fee that you paid at a Hollywood Video or a Blockbuster?
Oh, you know what? Honestly, I think there was a really bad one, like $30.
Yeah, I paid $30 when like pretty much we'd lost a disc, and what they do is they just like let your late fees, I think, get up to $30, and by then they've like doubled the cost of the actual disc.
Right, exactly.
Or something. Who knows?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure it didn't cost them anything to buy those things. But that was, oh God. Something that we didn't talk about when we were remembering the Blockbuster and the Hollywood Video,
and for good reason,
was the size. Now, Hollywood Video maybe was just
that defensive Japanese weapon, good for blocking swords. Raphael's favorite,
and Elektra too. But let's not talk about that at all.
Ew, Jennifer Garner.
The size of the blockbusters were usually about one story, right? But Hollywood Video, for some reason, they built their stores taller in most situations.
Got it. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and it just, I don't know why that changes your idea of a store. But when you're not
Tall
like
ceilings
blocked
are nicer. It's just less claustrophobic.
well, and think about claustrophobia when you are when you're spending so much time searching for something. You don't want to be blocked in
Beat?
when you're trying to think of decide on something that you're going to do the rest of the night. And also, it gave them an opportunity to put up a bunch of cool posters. So that was kind of neat.
Yeah. Well, let's go through Hollywood Video real quick since we already got through one store. Just
Absolutely.
only because Hollywood Video is near and dear to my heart because I worked for them from like 2001 to 2003.
Damn.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, founded in 1988 by Mark Waddles, who I have an opinion of being a very eccentric man. He tried to build the largest mansion in the world, which
Holy
was
crap.
rumored to be over 50,000 square feet. And they built most of it, but there was some kind of dispute over money in like around 1998. So it just kind of stands as this unfinished like ghost mansion.
It's kind of like the Winchester House.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, so somewhere in Oregon. Go.
Interesting.
Might even be Portland.
Fantastic.
It started with one store in Portland.
Yeah.
Which was a tiny one.
So tiny, man.
500 square feet, and only had 300 films to rent. So I bet they had pretty small ceilings also.
But that's kind of cool. That's definitely the Portland feel, the Portland aesthetic.
Yeah,
you know. Oh, you've been to Voodoo Donuts too.
Yes, I love it. Delicious coffins.
Oh, delicious. That sounds so cool. Like it's much more of a small rags to riches, back to rags story than Blockbuster, which sort of sounds like it was started by more of a corporate entity than just one dude who liked movies.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And fast forward 6 years from when it was founded.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the average size of a Hollywood Video store was 7,500 square feet and had over 16,000 videotapes. Tapes, which took up a lot of room. I feel like a tape weighed a half a pound.
I don't think you know what pounds are, but yeah. I mean, they were definitely heavier than...
Yeah. So
maybe the tape version of Titanic was half a pound. Could have been.
Yes. Oh, there's definitely those double tapes for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Man, I love those.
In the time that I was working there, I do remember that the founders of Hollywood Video and I think Game Crazy also were trying to buy their franchise back from being a publicly traded company to being private, and somebody along the way fucked up. And one of the loans fell through, and I guess I don't know how business buying fucking works, but I guess the window for like buying your own company closes, and they missed it, and it ended up going up for auction. And I know that Blockbuster tried to buy this out, but for some reason, some southern-based company, southern by meaning LA, a company called Movie Gallery ended up buying them out.
Oh, interesting.
And they ran them into the ground really fucking hard, which is really sad. And honestly, I don't know like what you have to do to actually run a video store in 2003, 2004 into the ground when Netflix is really kind of coming into its own, besides just kind of standing still and reaping a couple years of profit. But that's pretty much what happens.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
That's all it is. Well, there's nothing really to do at that point. I mean, it's almost just a dying existence. You can't substitute the business that you are losing to the streaming services or anything like that.
Yeah.
You know, and even didn't Blockbuster try a hostile takeover of Hollywood Video too?
Yeah.
Around that same time?
I mean, probably. I honestly didn't research that much.
No, that's...
I do have one last story from Hollywood Video, and that's the one of the managers I knew from there.
Yeah.
who I guess I won't mention their name. They ended up losing their job, unfortunately, because they went to another store to like drop off something, and they saw that it was being robbed.
Oh
So they thought that
shit.
the best thing to do was to pull out their own gun and have a fucking shootout in front of the store.
What?
Yeah. So I don't think that anybody was actually even like hurt or killed, but I mean, like shit was fucked up. I think windows got broken.
How exciting.
I guess. Stupid. It's dumb decisions, but
Wow, that
whatever.
is
That's
the
Hollywood Video. The sad story of something that could have been great. The better Blockbuster and the better GameStop
yeah.
company all in one building, just nosediving.
Yeah. I mean there's nothing that you could do. Man.
Yeah.
It's sad to remember those places because a lot of our childhood was spent in there.
Oof. What
You
a
know.
depressing episode, man.
Man, yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ. And dismissively as we raise the subject, we will
Jennifer
finish
Gardner.
off.
Oh,
Yes,
sorry.
that's right. We will we'll never speak of Electra again on this podcast. I promise. I'm sorry about that. But we will talk about Discovery Zone. Discovery Zone was a fun old entertainment.
Smelly, sock
Silly.
infested, disgusting ball pit.
Come on, there were those roller
Sticky fingerprint laden tubes.
there was those roller slides, and you could actually get lost in there, for God's sake.
You know what you're guaranteed at a Discovery Zone is to get injured.
It was, you know what? Thinking about it now, it was kind of scary. It was kind of too big. Almost. I don't, you could, like I say, you could get lost in it. You could get into a little gang fight probably, with some of the tougher people who were just dropped off at the DZ and just left there by their parents. But ending all of it. It was founded in '89. There were, I think, 300 stores at most. It closed in '99, and funny enough, guess who took control of it in '95? That's right,
Bees.
It was actually Blockbuster Video.
What?
How odd is that?
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, no, it was
Oh.
taken over. A subsidiary of Viacom Incorporated took management control of Discovery Zone in April of '95. How fucking weird is that? Just to wrap up all of the loose ends. I don't know if we wrapped up anything.
Let's wrap this whole episode up.
Please do.
Yes.
I think we can score this based on the places. I suppose the 3 different ones. If you want to, or you can just. How about
Honestly,
this episode?
It's so depressing. Yeah, I just want to wrap it all up in a one awful package and send it on its way.
All right, neat. Go ahead. What do you think?
I would not delete this. I'm gonna God, re-experiencing it.
Yeah.
It's tough. I'm gonna give it 6 chapter 11s filed. Like it makes sense for the day that I enjoyed it. Does not fly today. Lots of problems. So many holes. What about you?
No, I listen. I loved 2 out of 3, 2.5 out of 3 of these things. And I think, it's an 8 out of 10.
Wow.
Late fees.
Okay.
For me because damn it, I loved those places when I was a kid. And the fact that it was just, probably greed or probably just short-sightedness on the side of rich people running these things into the ground, not being able to change with the times.
Totally.
I think it's a shame. And
it always starts out with the best intentions.
Of course, to make money.
Yeah.
But I enjoy the happiness that it provided us when we were kids. So
all right.
that's where
AJ
I'm at.
said penis. So let's wrap up this episode. Next time,
Yeah.
Boxcar Children and the formulaic novelization.
Oh, how about 90s catchphrases like "What's up?"
Oh man.
How about that?
That's
No?
helpful.
Yeah?
All right, how about worst prizes found in cereal boxes?
Okay, yeah. Front or back, the right way to wear your fanny pack. Answers to these subjects and more on the next episode of Out of Memory. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook on at Out of Memory. What the fuck? Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Out of Memory Pod, and email us with questions, comments, or your own missing
Feces.
childhood feces. Yep, just kid feces though, not adult feces. To outofmemorypod@gmail.com. Thank you very much for listening, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Hey.
Ciao.
Ciao. Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye.
But I don't have pants on already.
I do this podcast naked all the time.
Yeah, I'm naked right now.
Yeah.
Good times.
Fuck it. Yeah.